Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mission Employable podcast. My name is Ryan West. I am your host. We have a great show for you today. We're in studio. I want to thank the guests very much. So if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, we really appreciate that. We have more and more people checking that out. They like to put a name to the face. This individual, I see all the time on social media, which we're going to jump into. And today's show is all about the Starts Right Here movement. We're going to talk about what that means and what is happening in the Des Moines metro area with that program. Starts Right Here, commonly referred to as SRH, inspires at-risk youth in the Des Moines public schools and motivates youth through speaking events. I stole part of that right off the website like I typically do. Joining me on the microphone to talk all things SRH and a little more is the president and founder, Will Keeps. Will is actively working in the community as a mentor, activist, motivational speaker, and musician to reach out to youth in a positive way. I've been trying to get you on. We got a little sneaky last week and did some LinkedIn reconnaissance work. Thank you for joining us. I know you're a busy person. We're going to talk about all the stuff you're doing, and welcome to the Mission Employable podcast.
Hey, I'm excited to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming in studio as well, and thank you for coming on video. So I think actually we were talking about before we hit record, I came down with Director Townsend, some other folks, to see your location right before it opened. I think it was right before the pandemic or right when it was starting. I can't remember, but I know you've done a lot. For the while, every time I was turning around, I'd see you were a picture with the governor. Something was going on with something with the governor all the time. We'll talk a little bit about that, but high level overview, kick off this kind of discussion with what your background entails, because it's really unique. And how you became so passionate about, working in this field and helping youth in the Des Moines metro area, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm from the south side of Chicago. Molested at 7 years old, left for dead at 15 years old. Saw a lot of people that I know go to jail and die.
Yeah.
And through my life, and so it caused a lot of trauma. You know what I'm saying, for myself. But it didn't stop me from doing what I want to do in life.
Yeah.
I always tell people I wanted to be like Luke Skywalker.
Right.
I always want to be the one who helps save the galaxy, help save the world.
Yeah.
And because of everything that I've been through in my life, I felt like that now I have that, in a sense, that insight, what I'm saying, of a lot of things the kids are going through or people are going through today, that I can actually help them today.
Yeah, they trust you.
Yep.
When did you come to Des Moines then?
I came to Des Moines when I was it was 98, 99.
Okay.
And so when I was 26 years old.
Straight from Chicago.
Yep.
Okay.
Southside Chicago.
Okay, and so when you've been in the Des Moines metro area pretty much that entire time, or
yeah,
you were in Iowa.
When I first came, I was in Iowa. I was in Clive at first.
Okay.
My brother lived out there in Clive, and so then I moved to Des Moines.
Okay.
So I've been out here ever since.
Okay, and so what did you know then that you wanted to work with these youth? Then was it in your teens, or when did it kind of click for you? Like I've been through a lot, I can really help folks.
Well, I always wanted to be, like I said, a superhero, to have those powers to be able to help people. But it all started when I was an adult. When I was sitting in my living room one day. I was working for the post office. I was delivering mail.
Yeah.
And a kid named Terry Harris got killed. And it was friends of my son and my nephew. And they came to me and they told me about him getting killed. And I knew this kid. And my daughter was in the room too. And they said, why don't you do something about what's going on in the community?
Mm-hmm.
And so they asked me to do a song, because I was into R&B music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so they said, why don't you do a song about what's going on in the community and see how you can help? So I went in my studio and did a song called Wake Up Iowa.
Yeah.
And when I did Wake Up Iowa, I had no idea that song was going to give me a voice that was going to help the kids and help the community.
Yeah, and that just kind of kicked it all off then.
Yep.
And essentially, what year was that?
That was 8-9 years ago.
Okay, cool. So were you always doing the music before that then too? I mean, is that something that's kind of
I used to be signed with Mary J. Blige. I had a group in Chicago.
Okay, cool.
Called Laid Back, and we were signed with Mary J. Blige. It was called Mary Jane Entertainment.
Okay.
So I was always in the music and church as well.
So there you go. Okay, good deal. Okay, so then talk to us about when, why, and kind of the how you started the Right Here, kind of program, the platform, and why do you think it's been so successful in a short time amount? I feel like you're out marketing it all the time, or maybe now it's taking care of itself, but talk to us about that journey, because I know it wasn't as probably as easy as what I'm making it sound to be.
It wasn't easy at all.
Yeah.
The music helped stream a lot of people to see what's going on with Starts Right Here, to see what's going on with Will Keeps.
Right.
So it started off with Will Keeps, and it wasn't even Starts Right Here yet.
Right.
And so when I decided to have a building or have something where I could have kids come in, because I was working in Des Moines Public Schools for a long time and helping kids for a long time, and doing music videos with the kids and doing videos with some of the most powerful people, in our state and in our city. It got to a point where I'm like, okay, this is, people actually are listening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're hearing what I'm saying, even though it's kind of, some people didn't like what I said.
Yeah.
Some of the streets didn't like what I said, and some of the administrators and some of the professional people didn't like what I said or how I was going with my vision and with my mission.
Yeah.
But I just kept going because that's me. You know what I mean? That's how I felt, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And so when it comes to Starts Right Here, I had no idea that I was gonna have in a sense, a school where I thought I was gonna have some like an after school program or something like that. But it came to be where I was seeing so many kids that was not going to school.
Yeah.
And they wasn't making it in the public schools. And so I felt like I needed to do some type of satellite for them.
Right.
And building these relationships with the governor, with the U.S. Senator, with the police chief, with, the head of Des Moines Public Schools, just so many powerful people. It put me in that position to actually do something unique.
Mm-hmm. When you came up with the school idea, I know that was, how long did it take you to actually get to that, where you had the building? And, when did you know, like, this is not just a after school thing, but going to be a full-time, or it should be a full-time thing?
Well, I was talking to people from Des Moines Public Schools and the governor and a whole bunch of other people, and giving them the idea that we can have some type of satellite where we can bring kids in that are not doing well inside the school. I haven't put it on the news where I wanted to take the kids that was being suspended. Like, they don't go home, they come to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can we get teachers?
Right.
So I kept putting that out in the air and talking to the schools about that, and it happened.
Right.
Slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? But it happened.
It's just happened. And how many teachers do you guys have with you then at one time?
Well, at first we only had 2.
Yeah.
But right now for the next semester we got 4.
Okay.
So we have social studies, science, math, and reading.
Okay, so kids going and these are kids that are 9th to 12th grade, or
I'd say 16 to 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kids in school, in high school, not doing well, he or she can come to your location for the day then. An extended period.
It's like going to school.
Okay.
They can get their high set there. They can actually get a diploma.
Yep.
They can actually walk with their school.
Yeah.
I mean, we're working with the more public schools where they're literally making it happen where these kids can actually walk with their schools, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Yep.
Okay, and then are you guys? This is a little off script. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit,
and we're working with Options Academy. I want to make sure I say that.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was going to ask you about that too. So kid comes in. They then some of your kids. I mean, like, as we come into this next semester, could a kid be there the entire school year then?
They can.
Okay.
They can. We're trying to set it up for that right now.
Okay. And then can those kids then, how can those kids get linked up? Are there work opportunities that you can help get them?
Yeah.
Is that the next thing?
We have started with a lot of companies doing apprenticeship, like Ruan.
Yep.
Ruan got 2 of our kids right now in full-time apprenticeships right now.
Okay.
They graduated from Starts Right Here, and they're full-time apprenticeships right now at Ruan.
Okay. How did you create that relationship with Ruan? How can more employers, are you looking for more employers?
Oh, yes. Me and Ben had a conversation. Ben McLean, he's the CEO.
Yep, Ben's been on the podcast.
Right, okay.
So see, there they go.
There
We're
you go.
connecting on the dots. That's right.
Yep, so me and him became actually real good friends.
Okay.
And we talked about this apprenticeship for Starts Right Here, and he got on it real quick.
Right.
He even let a 16-year-old, be involved in the apprenticeship.
Yeah.
When it's supposed to start at 17.
And that's like the world stops tilting. If you have somebody on that engine. Yeah.
And this kid right now is making good money at 17 years old.
Right.
He's 17 years old now.
Right.
And so we're trying to get other companies to do the same thing. We'll start apprenticeships where kids can actually come for probably 4 hours, of academic work, and then work 4 hours an apprenticeship. So when they graduate, they can go straight full time.
Do you think that kids that come into the program have again, this is a real, sorry, Ben, my producer guy's he's going to get mad at me for saying this because I'm going to say, is this a Captain Obvious question? But, just kids going to have a better success rate coming through your program, you think? Or, I mean,
some, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody. You got kids that are being in the public schools are doing great.
Right.
But you have kids that are not doing great in public schools. That's nothing. I mean, that is just what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so we want the kids that are not doing great in the public schools. I want the lost kids. And the reason why I call them lost kids is because we want to help them find their way.
Yeah, right. Okay, so then as you're working with these kids, you're going through this, or maybe just from experiences before this, what are some of the biggest barriers you see with these kids that you're looking for? Is it parents? Is it neglect? What is it? Do you think?
A lot of these kids, some of these kids are homeless. See, the thing is that what I realize is that you got kids with bad homes, you got kids with good homes. Some of the kids with the good homes, they kind of get into the street life because they don't want to listen to nothing their parents have to say.
Right.
And so they decided to let the streets be their parents. And so what they do is they get into these arguments with their parents because they don't want their parents to be parents. And then all of a sudden they become these street kids. They run away and become street kids. And when they become street kids, they out here now surviving instead of thriving. And now they're not even thinking about, going to school or because they got to make that money to survive or they got to know where they're going to live at.
Right.
I want to, at one point create a dorm, like a high school campus, like a college campus, but it's a high school campus where we have dorms and have different specialties where kids can actually have a place to stay, but they have to come to school.
Yeah.
We have different buildings where the buildings have different specialties with sports, a specialty with arts, a specialty with trades. And then we have another building where we get the kids who are being bullied or, just have these mental health situations where they're hurting themselves. We want to teach them how to deal with the world and deal with that and in a short number of people, but so they can have that special attention.
Yeah, for sure. It sounds like a fantastic opportunity and program. Mm-hmm. We should plug, what is your guys' location?
We're over there, 455 Southwest 5th Street, Des Moines, Iowa. Suite A.
Suite A. Okay, and you guys
right downtown.
Right downtown. And you guys have been there almost 3 years, 2 years,
about 2.5 years right now.
And you guys work with basically all the high schools in the Des Moines metro area. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So Lincoln, North, Roosevelt. Okay, the whole gamut there. Okay, very cool. Okay, I want to ask you this. We kind of touched a little bit about this on the employer piece, but you mentioned, and you can just, to be completely frank, see you with these individuals on your website or on a lot of your social media. How did you create that, the relationship with the police department, Chief Winger, and then Governor Reynolds? I mean, how did that go for other folks who want to make a difference or can do some of these things? And you're kind of a guiding light on how if you just do it, you can make it happen. How'd you create that?
Well, I knew the chief before he was chief because our daughters play AAU basketball together.
Okay.
So when he became chief, I was like, wow, I already know this dude.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
And so we connected on that level. I didn't know the governor. I was introduced to her when she was lieutenant governor.
Yeah.
And when she became governor, she did a video with me called Dropping.
Yeah.
And that did very well.
Yeah.
And the first time a governor ever did a hip hop, you know what I'm saying, music video.
Sounds funny hearing you say that.
Hey, but it was cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she was only supposed to be at that video shoot for an hour.
Yeah.
And she was there for 3 the whole time because she was enjoying herself.
Yeah.
And she wanted to do something that was meaningful and help the community. And so, but I had no idea that me and her was going to become, good friends. I had no idea that me and the chief was going to become good friends. There's a lot of people who are mad about it, but I decided to not let politics get in the way of progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's a really great thing. I mean, you've touched on how you're working with CEOs. You touched on how you've worked with the police department. All these things that are required to do what you're doing. It's pretty cool. Where do you see the future of the program going? You mentioned this a little bit, the dorms. I totally agree. I went to Des Moines Public Schools. I went to Lincoln. So I get what you're saying with a lot of this stuff. A lot of it has been this way for some time. Where do you want to see the program go over the next 2 to 5 years?
I want to start a franchise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where we're at elementary school, middle school, where we're helping out. We're taking some of the behavior kids out of the elementary schools, out of the middle school, and out of the high schools, so we can actually help them. Because one thing about me is when I was growing up, I had 2 other siblings, and I didn't feel like I was the special one.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these kids, you know, who come to me, some of them don't feel like they're being special. So we get some of these kids out of the situation,
their environment,
and start treating them and start giving them all the attention that they need.
Yeah.
And maybe that will help their behaviors. But then it'll also help, you know, the schools with behavior issues in the regular schools as well, because you'll have 2 or 3 kids with bad behaviors, and it'll cause a chain reaction of everybody else thinking they can do the same thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we want to do satellites so we can get those kids out and really be hands-on with those kids.
Yeah, great stuff. It's really fantastic. So you guys are looking for volunteers too at times?
We're looking for volunteers. Yeah. We're at one point, you know, I want to raise enough money. At one point I want to get the state to fund, you know, what we're doing, so we can actually, you know, hire people, hire quality people, you know what I'm saying, that's who wants to do this type of work.
Yeah.
You know, and love these kids like they need to be loved.
Right.
I mean, people get so mad that I work with the police, but I got so many kids out of jail because of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And people get so mad about that, and then I've built relationships with judges where I'll talk to a judge and I'll be like, yo, this kid, you know, he's doing better. I'm working with him. You know, give him another shot. And so the judge will be in the courtroom and say, look, I just got off the phone with Will Keeps. Will Keeps said you're doing better, and I'm going to take his conversation in consideration. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so when people get so mad about these relationships, they got to look at the bigger picture. Look at the bigger picture. Look at what these relationships is doing to help the community, and stop putting politics in front of everything.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Great stuff. You can find out more by going to startsrighthere.org. Again, you mentioned the location. It's right down in Central LA. Just Google your guys' website and you can find it. You're also pretty regular on LinkedIn. Is there any other social media platform you want to promote?
Well, I'm on every last one of them, but all of them.
Yeah,
I don't be on like my Facebook and my LinkedIn is the most ones I be on. I don't my Instagram is. I mean, just go to Will Keeps, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see all
You're out there. You can find
right.
it anyway. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I can't thank you enough. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Will Keeps, who is the founder and president of the Starts Right Here program. Great stuff. Congratulations on all your success and what you've been doing. And really, thank you very much for making time.
Oh, it's an honor to be here, man.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.